Welcome back. Stay tuned because I am going to talk about this unit in just a few minutes. This is something that I travel with for jewelry and, as you can see, other items, and I will walk you through what's in here because it's a great addition to my travel gadgets, my travel items. And I did talk about this a little bit, just briefly, without really walking you through what was in it, in my recent travel Q&A video. I recently returned from a 2-week trip to North Carolina, and I actually have another vacation for about a week coming up in June. So I'm keeping a lot of my travel items together, and I'm just working out of them throughout the week and throughout the weeks leading up to that trip. But before we get into that, I need to read a comment that came through from a YouTuber with some questions. Vicky, hello, lovely Tracy. Hope you and yours are doing beautifully. Wasn't sure where to ask you this question. Hope it's okay here. This was a YouTube comment. Absolutely. That's a great place to leave a question because I check my YouTube comments a couple of times each day. I was wondering, firstly, if you're happy with your new hair color. If so, have you had to adjust your makeup to suit your new look? I have exactly your coloring. I am a winter like you and wanting to go lighter for the same reasons as you, to have longer time between hair appointments, and because the grays aren't as obvious on lighter hair. I was just wondering if you've had to make any adjustments to your makeup and clothing. Well, let me share with you that I addressed this question just a few weeks ago in a video where I talk about my recent update to my hair. So check that out. Then she proceeds to ask, also, I've noticed you wearing a beautiful cross around your neck. Is this a current purchase? And if so, do you have a link? Thank you so much. Blessings. Well, thank you, Vicky, because 2 videos on my YouTube channel are prompted by your questions, so I do really appreciate it. So let me address first the cross necklace. Yes, it is a new addition. I love it. I've been on the hunt for a cross necklace for some time. I actually believed that I wanted a smaller cross in only gold. Well, there is a story that I'm not going to go into about how I thought I was going to be gifted a cross necklace that I saw last November while traveling with my husband to Charleston, South Carolina. I found a necklace there that I loved, and I didn't purchase it because I thought I may get it as a gift. Well, I didn't. And that's okay. That's okay. It's a positive because what's the opportunity? Well, it prompted me to search around for a necklace that I would love. I have a local jeweler that I have done some custom work with, and we'll talk about this bracelet soon. And it's also where my third daughter and her husband got their engagement and wedding rings. So I love supporting local. So I will share with you that the cross necklace was purchased there, and it is not something that is linkable. But as I was shopping, so I went there two times. So one thing about me is I am not one to impulsively purchase. The first time I went into the jeweler to look at cross necklaces, I didn't even carry in my handbag. And I made it very clear that I would not be making a purchase that day. I am someone who, if I am going to buy an investment piece, I need time to think about it. I need time to process it. And it was about 3 weeks before I actually pulled the trigger and bought the necklace. I had two that I was debating between, and I had pictures of both actually on me and then just on like a little mannequin. And I needed time to think about it. I also am not one to typically ask a loved one which one they like. When I'm on the fence, I am not usually one to ask someone else, because that's not truly then what I desire. And I think making investment purchases requires some thought and time, and it needs to be you. It needs to be the person who's going to be sporting it or wearing it that needs to make that decision. So I know it's easy to look for outside advice, and if that is the way that you shop, even for investment pieces, and it works for you, don't change it. For me, I need to make that decision on my own. So I had two that I was on the fence, and the jeweler actually shared with me that I could take them home for a few days. He said, I just need to take a copy of your license. You've done business here before, and you're more than welcome to take them home, wear them for a few days, see what you think, and come back next week. That was just so generous, and that is what you're going to get with a kind of small town, small business jeweler. So that is one of the reasons I really do like working with them. You do get that personalized service. I declined the offer. I said, I really don't believe that I need to do that, but if I do, I will be back. I'll be in this area next week, and if I feel the need to take one or both, I will take you up on the offer. But right now, I think I'm in a good place. So it was about 3 weeks where I looked at the pictures a few times on my camera roll, and I debated and kind of went back and forth. And when I went in to make the purchase, I was pretty certain I was going to go with this one, but I did want to look at the other one, put it on and try it on, see how it looks. And I went through that whole process, and I'm really happy with the one that I chose. You may be wondering, what if the necklace sold? Well, that's where faith and trust come in. I just basically said, if it sells, then that's the Lord's will. And that wasn't the cross necklace for me. So I've really implemented that a lot in my life, and it's really serving me well. I just, I'm not in control, and boy, it's a great place to be. It's a great place to be. You control freaks. I'm not going to say that I don't default to that, but if you're a control freak, there is just so much freedom when you just let it go and you let God. I just have to say that. So I ended up purchasing it. I will put in here what I paid for it. I'm very comfortable with that. I actually upgraded to a better quality chain than what was originally on the cross necklace, because this chain, you could sleep with the other chain, shower with the other chain, but this one has a lifetime warranty. I did insure this though. They did do up paperwork and appraisal. I had to go back and pick that up at a later date, and I did insure it with our homeowners. This bracelet here is also insured, and I'll talk more about that. But I'll insert here somewhere what I paid for this out the door, and I had saved for it. I will share, it was quite a bit more than the necklace that I saw in Charleston, so that would have saved some money. But that was gold, and it was a much daintier cross. And I'll share with you the other thing that's interesting about the jeweler. So he when I told him what I was looking for, he said, okay, dainty, very small cross. He said, let's look at a few, kind of show me what you're talking about. So I pointed out a few very small, dainty gold cross necklaces. And he said, okay, why so dainty? And I said, I'm not a showy person. I said, I'm very minimal. I said, I do have a few luxury brand items. I have a YSL like card case. I have a Louis Vuitton little toiletry thing. I have some small pieces of more luxury or designer items, but I'm not showy. That doesn't impress me. I don't like when the logo is in your face, right? Do you remember, what was the belt that was really popular a couple of years ago? Maybe, was it Gucci with the G? To each their own. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's an amazing belt, but it's just a little too in your face for me. But I will say, I'm not opposed to having I have a beautiful Valentino belt. I mean, it is beautiful. If it's available, I'll link it. But the buckle is the same color as the belt, so you would literally have to almost be up on it to see it. So it's not that I don't love some of those luxury designer brands. I don't know if I like when they're in your face. But there's a couple of items on my radar that are distinct. When you look at it, that's what it is. Well, hold on. Here's my Louis Vuitton little toiletry. I love this. I love this because it's so structured. It's not about it being Louis Vuitton. And I'll share with you, I'm not a huge Louis Vuitton fan because almost everything is so Louis Vuitton. And I don't know, but I love this. I love this. I don't see me ever getting a Louis Vuitton handbag, but I love this piece. If it's available, I'll link it. And it's probably not even linkable because a lot of those designer luxury brands are not. But anyway, the jeweler actually said, okay, that's fine. And believe me, I did not feel like he was trying to get me to step up my game and spend more. I didn't get that impression at all. I'm very good about picking up on that. He just said, I'm going to share with you something. A cross necklace is very personal. And I think it's great that you're picking out your cross necklace and someone is not selecting it for you and gifting it to you because it's very personal. It will be worn a lot and it just has a lot of meaning. And he said, you're handling this in a great way. I'm the same way with wedding rings or engagement rings. If you're into fashion, I think it's important to pick out your own ring. I just really do. If you're not into fashion, I think it's maybe a different story, but if everything goes together for us fashionistas, and let me know if you feel the same. Like if you're a fashionista, would you agree? Like every single thing, it has to really be your taste. So we could be a little hard to shop for when it comes to fashion and accessories because we're into fashion and accessories and we know what we like. So it can be really challenging. I will share though, I've had some beautiful gifts, but for the most part, that's kind of how I feel. So he just said, I just looking at you, he's like looking at you and how put together you are. I get the whole minimal, but he said, he's like, I have a different read on you. So tell me a little bit about yourself. So I proceeded to tell him a little bit about myself, who I am. Well, we know I'm a child of God. That's who I am. Whose I am, right? Not who I am, but whose I am. And that was okay to say, right? I'm shopping for a cross necklace. But, I kind of shared, I'm a mom, I have 5 children, I have grandchildren. We talked about the bracelet I had done. I shared what I do and just a lot. And he said, you're a very confident young woman. I love young woman. I threw that in there. You have to do this sometimes when you're in menopause and you're getting older. Young woman, young lady. He just said, I have a different read on you. Would you be open to looking at other cross necklaces? And I said, sure. And he said, okay, I'm going to pull a few. And he pulled this one, and he pulled another one, and he pulled a third one. And he said, so 2 of the ones he pulled, this one and another one, he said in his mind, they were still minimal. And he said, I just want you to know that everyone has a different perspective. I think a lot of it is I've never been one to throw my faith in people's faces. I shared that I've been a believer my whole life. I grew up in the church. I grew up going to a parochial school until I went to high school. But I've never been one to really speak boldly about it like I have the last couple of years, which is being received really well. And I'll be honest with you, it's quite sad, but I didn't know that we're called to do that. I didn't know that. So that's something that I learned when I read The Purpose-Driven Life. I'll link the Purpose-Driven Life book below, which I've read twice. Done the audio, and I study my notes throughout the week. I didn't realize that one of the purposes of our life is to share the kingdom, share the kingdom. So I've always kept that a little bit more reserved, but that's another story for another day. Anyway, he did say, 2 of these pieces are still quite minimal, and this one's a little bit more bolder. Would you like to try them on? So he always asked me, and I tried them all on, and I really did say, you're making a good point. Yeah, I don't find this to be in your face at all. And I didn't want any diamonds. That's the other interesting thing. And all 3 had diamonds. So I definitely liked this one, and I liked the second one, which was it was a little bit more dainty than this one and didn't have as many diamonds. So it was a little bit, cheaper. I don't want to say cheaper, but less expensive. And then the other one was much more bolder. It had more diamonds. And I knew that wasn't me. Right away, I just said, I don't like all the bling. I'm not a bling person. There's just, even certain, again, luxury brands. What is it? Oh, it's the Valentino, like the Valentino rock stud. I don't know if they're still popular. I mean, they're probably always in. I'm not a blingy girl. I like simple with just pops. I did a video on how many accessories you should wear. I'll link that. That's a great video because you probably know what I'm talking about. There's some women, they're so adorned that you can't see them. I can't find you behind all your adornment. You've got some gold on the shoes, and you've got some gold on the handbag, and you've got several bracelets on and a watch on and a couple different rings and all these necklaces, and and then your belt. It's just like, where are you behind all of this? So, and that's fine if that's you. We do get to do what we want to do and what makes us feel good. And I'm a coach. I encourage people to do what makes them feel good, and I help facilitate in that. So if you worked with me with style, which you can, I have a style package, I would never tell you not to do that. But I would probably dive a little deep and see if you're hiding behind something, because sometimes you are. Many women hide behind their weight with different clothing and accessories. But anyway, that's a coaching thing, and we're going all over. I love the chit chat. This really is a chit chat video. Let me just share this. As we're plugging along, I am going to link this, and then I'm going to come back next week and we'll dissect this. Let's do it that way, because this is going to get too long and I want to take time to devote to that. So I'll come back next week, so make sure you're subscribed. Anyway, I tried them on, And I really said, I like these two. And I tried on the dainty. And I just said, yeah, I don't need these little dainty. No. So I was so thankful that he really did what he coached me. This is what I do. So this is a perfect metaphor of being coached. Sometimes we need that guidance from an expert, and he's the expert. So again, I didn't buy anything that day. I said, thank you. We took photos. He offered for me to take them home, whatever. I said, I won't be back for at least 2 weeks. I just said, when I am going to spend money, and believe me, this is not credit card. I don't use a credit card. So I had the money. I said, I am just not someone I need to sit on things. It served me well, and no problem. No problem. They did take a note of the two that I liked. He actually said, do you want me to hold? No, I just said, no. If it's here, it's meant to be here. I believe that it's in God's will. This is in his hands. I will say I was a little nervous the day that I was driving out there. Oh gosh, what if they sold out? Would I go with the other one? Well, I really didn't know, but I had dialed in on this one. I don't know what would have happened. Again, I let it go. Like take your finger off of it. Take your hands off of it. So really happy with and pleased with my purchase. I will share, I don't sleep in it. I don't shower in it because I don't wear any jewelry. Even this bracelet, I can shower. I could sleep in if I wanted. This is a very costly piece because it was custom designed. I actually proposed to him that next year, or maybe starting in January, we collaborate on a Gigi bracelet. That's what this is called. I named it. It's a Gigi bracelet. It's custom. I created it from an inspo that I saw, and it has 3 diamonds, and the diamonds move, and it's an add a diamond. So for every grandchild, I will add a diamond. So what I love is I don't know how many diamonds I will end up with on this bracelet, but I have one for June, I have one for Marin, and I have one for Mac. So I did ask my daughter, Kirsten, if she felt I should do one for Kaylee. And she said, it's not necessary, Mom. I don't think so. Kaylee is my bonus granddaughter. We love her. She is so part of our life. But my daughter shared, you don't have to have that pressure to do everything. Just stick with, us and the children that we have. So I honored that. You may have different thoughts. That's fine. We're all different. But yes, so I have 3 diamonds. No one is expecting. I do predict in 2026, God willing, we will have a grandchild. I definitely see my 3rd daughter, McKenna and Bobby, probably having one in 2026. Mac just turned 2. I know they were in no rush to have a second, but I think I could definitely see it, again, God willing, that nothing goes wrong, because it just does, and it's so sad. So I have no idea how many I will get. I'd love to have about 10. Kirsten and Tim, I think, are done. They've pretty much made that decision, so I won't get any more from them, but we'll see what happens. So unfortunately, my necklace is not linkable, but I will link several options, including just gold ones and some with diamonds in different price points. My add a diamond bracelet is also not linkable, but I will insert just maybe some basic gold bracelets similar to this. I have very small wrist, so I really need a custom bracelet made. I'm very small boned. I'm just a small boned person. So this was all custom, and so it's already been sent back, and every time I send it in, it's about 6 weeks to add the new diamond, because it does get sent out. But when June was born, I had this, when June was born, I had this made, and then I sent it back after Mac and Marin. So it's only had to go in one time and have 2 more diamonds added, and then I have to pay for that. Also insured, and I'll I'll think about putting the amount, where we're at so far, because this will keep upping the ante. But pretty penny in this piece. But this is very meaningful. It's an heirloom that will be passed to whoever. I haven't decided how I'm going to handle some of my more luxury pieces. I do have a luxury document where in the document, I have what I paid, where the paperwork is, all the details on it. And my girls know that I have this as a Google Doc, because if something ever happened to me, they would have that information and they could decide what they wanted to do with it. Even a couple, like my Louis Vuitton toiletry, that's in there. And anything that I have, because I do have a couple more designer. I even have a beanie. What is it called? Montclair beanie that I paid quite a bit for, and that will be. And so I haven't decided if I am going to put who should get it, because I think my girls would be able to work together and figure that out. I don't see battles coming, but one never knows, right? And hopefully I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I have a lot of grandparenting years under my belt in the works. So I don't want to miss out on those opportunities. But again, it's not in my, when God wants to call me home, I have to trust it, right? I have to trust it. So I don't think I have really anything else to share. If you have any questions about what I shared, this really was a great video. I'm just really inspired and motivated. But if you have any more questions, let me know. And again, may consider working with a jeweler to sell these GG bracelets next year for moms and grandmothers leading up to Mother's Day. He said we could not do it during the holidays. It's my busiest time, but we are going to, he was going to look into it a little bit because it had to be sent out. So, he's just like, I have to go through the process and see what we would be looking at. Because then it would all just be, it wouldn't be as expensive because it no longer would be custom made. It would be one thing that's just duplicated over and over and over, whether you have 2 diamonds or 3 diamonds or 6 diamonds or 10 diamonds, depending on if you wanted it as a mother's bracelet or a GG bracelet. So, but yeah, this was really just not where I thought it was going to go. And I love that it did. A couple of things I want to share about material things. I don't see heirloom pieces like this as being materialistic, but I'm not opposed to buying things, right? I'm not opposed to buying things, but I will share, I'm very conservative. I'm a saver. I'm not a spender. If I had to, when you have like saver or spender, I'm a saver. I married a saver. It has served us well. But yeah, I'm not into material things, and I'm really going to sit on I swear if something's over $100, I usually will sit on it. But I want to read something. It's a devotional, as you know. Hold on, let me go grab it. Can I just share that I love these type of videos? These are my favorite, where I'm just sitting here and just talking with my friend, talking with my best friend. You. Yes, you. Okay, this is from April 27th. I will insert it somewhere as I'm reading it or whatever. The best, and here's the thing, I saved this for this video. So I wish I could remember what video Vicky shared that comment in. I'll try to look for it because I can insert that. But I did insert the image of Vicky's question. Look at Vicky. Look at how you're doing, Vicky. You email us. I'm going to send you something, a workshop, access to 3-week intense. You just Vicky. Email the help at Hensel Coaching and Consulting. Haley will put it in the description box. Email. We're going to send you, pick out a workshop, or if you want 3-week intense, we're giving you that gift. You've earned it. You've earned it. And Vicky, send me more. Send me more. You guys, don't ever hesitate to email help at Hensel Coaching and Consulting. Haley manages that email, but I look at it too. because sometimes she has to leave things in there because it's something. It could be a client, and I have to get back. So if you have a suggestion, a recommendation, please, yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. April 27th. The best things in life are not things. So I love this, and I love this, and but the best things in life aren't things. God, the best things in life are not things. God. Today, I want you to wake up to the truth that the best things in life are not things. They are the unsearchable and eternal riches you have in your relationship with me that will never rust, fade, or depreciate in value. You do not get to hold them in your hands, but you do get to hold them in your heart, which is why your heart should be beating for nothing smaller than me today. There are many good things I give to you each day. They are for your enjoyment. But never are these good things to push me to the circumference of your life. I am your only true treasure that will make good on every promise I have made. No created thing can ever do that for you. Every created thing will ultimately fail to meet your expectations. Only me, as your creator and sustainer, can meet the deepest desires of your hope-filled heart. Remember, you will never be able to plumb to the depths of my worth, but by continuing to seek my presence, you will be less restless and more responsive to receiving the abundance I have planned for you today. We end with this prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you for reminding me that you are the true treasure I am to be seeking today. Amen. And the scripture that goes with this devotional, Matthew 13:45 and 46. The kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. Pearls. I'll link these. They are available. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. That is such a great devotional. I will also have a link to where I got that devotional. You know, I do my daily word, but this is another edition. I'm always adding new devotionals. And here's a Bible verse that I love. You know, I have cards with Bible verses on them. I did some videos talking about Bible verses, my purpose-driven life reading. I will have a whole slew of videos, that note cards, everything. Check it out. Do a marathon. Go into the weekend with a marathon. Psalm 119, verse 37, turn my eyes from looking at worthless things and give me life in your ways. So again, the material things in life, at the end of the day, they have no value, right? Everything I'm wearing really has no value. The point to ponder from that verse, worthless things like material possessions, fleeting pleasures, and worldly distractions. Instead, desire spiritual vitality, God's guidance and strength to walk with righteousness. So, yeah. The other thing is I don't wear the necklace every single day. If I'm wearing like a big chunky necklace, like when we were in Pinehurst, I had a day where I was kind of dressed up and I wore this big chunky, this guy. See, I still have it packed because I'll take it with me. This guy, I got this at Target. We'll link some big chunky, whatever. Yeah, we'll have some linked. But I didn't wear the cross necklace then. So I don't wear it to bed. I don't wear any jewelry to bed. I don't shower in any of my stuff. I don't wear jewelry on days that I don't get ready. So that's just me. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here and hanging out in this chit chat. We need some coffee. It is 7:25 a.m. last Sunday. I'm getting ready for church. Paul just jumped in the shower. I marcoed him and said, if you need to get in the shower, go ahead, because the shower is like right above me. So you may have heard a little bit of noise. Getting ready for church, and yeah, but thank you. And again, I will come back. I will make sure that my next video is sharing kind of how I use this, what I put in it, and will also cover my jewelry. I don't have a lot. I'm pretty minimal. But I will share with you my jewelry pieces. Or, yeah, will we do that both? We'll see. We'll see. You know, I can change my mind. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I get to change my mind. Yes, who's with me, ladies, especially menopausal ladies? Who's with me? Anything else? Oh, we're just a couple of weeks away from the new month. Time to take the Habit Tracker workshop. You can get that today. That is great. I'll have a couple of videos where I talk about it, but if you are looking to create some healthy habits or check off boxes, to-dos that are almost daily, I would say at least 5 days per week you do this, the Habit Tracker is a great tool. I love mine. Hold on. I'll have a link to it so that you can get it on order and then you can take the workshop. This is last year's. I have a new one, but I saved last year's. I like to save these things. But this is the whole Habit Tracker. And yeah, I use it. I use the front and back of each page. One side is for personal and the other side is for business. So I do track habits, but I also use this as my daily to-do. So I don't have to rewrite things for the whole month. That's my daily to-do. So it's been great. I find it to just be the best tool that I've implemented. I still do Google Tasks. I still do all that. There's a video I talk about that. So just watch that video, but take advantage of the Habit Tracker workshop. Get your Habit Tracker on order today. Take the workshop over the next week or two so that you can set up yours. And I walk you through step by step how to do it, how to use this as a tool to optimize your life, because that's what I'm here to do, is help you optimize your life. And if you want to work with me one-on-one with coaching, check out all of my coaching packages, from style to systems to anything else. I cover it all. So thanks for being here. And yeah, check out all the links. Lots of links today. You'll have to go to the corresponding blog post probably to get to everything. I'll also have images. It's always best to tap that top link because I'll also have some images in there of like the cross necklaces and different things like that. So check it all out, all the videos, and I'll see you next week on YouTube. And make sure you're watching me on stories. I jump on there too. All right, take care.